Good morning, beasties. Well, I'm fresh back from India, and today I'm going to be recreating a dish. It's actually a Pakistani dish, but it is so nice. It's a chicken pulao, and it's as close as you can get to the most authentic Pakistani one that I've ever tasted. It's really simple. It's in a one pot sort of recipe. It does use a few different ingredients, but hey, if you enjoy cooking, then you'll probably have some of this stuff. If not, urge you to go out and buy them because it really makes a difference. And you can serve your whole family with this pot. It makes enough to serve everybody. You can either have this on its own or you can have it with like a dal or something like that. I'll probably make a dal as well to go with it, but it'll probably only be me that eats the dal. There's no real heat involved in this. I think there might be a chili in it, but you can always remove that if you don't want that. This is really an aromatic dish. So let's get started with a bit of prep. I think we are going to cut some onions. Onions really important in Indian cooking. Excuse me, to do cooking I have to wear glasses because I can't see anymore. Okay. Right. Okay, so it says to use 3 onions. And as I said, in sort of Asian cooking, the onions is key. They really are. But in my family, they're not all big lovers of onions, but you really do have to have onions in this dish. And I love onions, so they're going in the dish. Yeah. So all I'm doing here is gonna just slice some onions. Doesn't need to be small, doesn't need to be anything special. Just sliced onions. They're going to go in the pan. They're going to get fried up for a little bit. The slower you kind of cook onions, the more sweet they'll be, so they get a bit of a slow cook. And it does say use 3. I'm using 3, but I'm using 3 small ones, so there's not that many in there, not that much onion. So I find the easiest way to do this is to cut the onions in half, skin them. And then just get rid of all the skins out of the way so you've got sort of clean space to work in. Real quick and easy. Right, so look, I'm just slicing up these onions. The easiest way to do that is, as I've shown you, half the onions, top and tail them, cut a line through the middle. They don't need to be anything special. These are going to go in the pan for a while. So as you can see, I'm just halving that onion, turning it to the side and slicing it. Easy as that. Next thing we want is 10 garlic cloves. Now 10 garlic cloves seems a lot, but it all adds to the flavour. So 10 cloves of garlic. let's just slice them up. You can use a grater, I suppose, a garlic grater. Actually, I don't even know why I'm still doing this. I do have a garlic grater now, which is does save a lot of mess and time. I'm old school. Let's just get it. Show you. Yes, garlic grater, just as good, if not quicker. Yeah, better. Sure, it's a bit smelly, but I must stink of garlic because I have it every day. Okay, so there it is. 2 cloves of garlic. That's what it looks like. Right then, so I tend to use oil instead of ghee because I just don't like the smell of the ghee. Yeah, I don't know if any of you have ever cooked with ghee, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, so I don't use ghee. I just use vegetable oil. And today I've used a bit of a mixture of vegetable oil and olive oil. Anyway, heating the onions gently and slowly. As I said, I've got 3 onions here. Just going to place them in the oil and let that just cook for a little while. So we're just looking to get these golden sort of coloured. Yeah. So we don't want the oil too hot, but we also don't want it too cold. So I've got mine turn mine up a little bit. I haven't got it quite where I need it. Right, and then once that starts to go kind of golden colour, we're going to add our 10 cloves of garlic, and I've also got about 1.5 centimetres of freshly grated ginger, which I'm also going to add to that towards the end of the cooking time of the onions, just for a minute or so to release the flavours. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cumin seeds straight into the mix with the chicken. So we'll get on with that for a second, cook these onions up. So just while I'm cooking these onions, it's getting there to the right consistency that I want, the right kind of colour. So just while I'm cooking them up, yeah, they're about right. I've been skinning my chicken, so I'm using bone-in chicken. This is the best for this recipe. You can't possibly get the same flavours with boned chicken, filleted chicken. So use the bone-in chicken is my advice. If you can afford it, use organic. I'm using Finest corn-fed, free-range corn-fed. You know, this can be a little bit expensive. I think I paid £6 for a kilo, but it really does make a difference. Right, so that's right. I'm just going to bang in now my garlic and my ginger, both at the same time, just to get that, release those flavours, start that cooking, and then the chicken will go in. Cumin seeds. So I've got my red chopping board ready for my raw chicken, and I've got my, let's just keep this going for a second, stir. That garlic and onion going, smells good already. So this recipe I found online, a couple of years ago now, I think, and I've cooked it a few times. It's one of my favourite dishes. It does contain a lot of spices, but as I said, they're more aromatic than they are spicy. So I'm just going to finish taking the skin off my chicken and get it cut up. So I'm going to leave my chicken whole instead of cutting it up, because it's a whole lot easier than cutting it up. So I'm just going to be putting in the thighs, some big old drumsticks in there, a couple of thighs. Now, you're going to want to fry this until the chicken isn't pink anymore, really, so it's a nice golden colour, which is going to take a little bit longer because I've left it whole. Just going in with the cumin seeds, 2 tablespoons, makes a nice flavour in the chicken. So you can see now it's gone nice and golden. Trying desperately not to burn the onions and the garlic and ginger on the bottom. But when it's at this stage, you want to be adding some water. So you'll kind of want to add half a cup of water. Half a cup of water straight in there. Heat just come up. And I'm preparing the dry spices now, which have got a bit of a hack because we're going to put them in a cloth, because kind of who wants all these spices in their mouth when they're trying to eat their food, whereas if you put them in a cloth, you can just remove the cloth and throw it away. So you can use a bit of muslin. I just use a dishcloth, which is just as good, brand new dishcloth. I tie it up with a bit of string and I use that. We'll go through those in a second. Okay, so quick recap. In there we've got our onions, we've got our garlic, we've got our ginger, we've got our cumin seeds, and we've got bone-in, free range, corn-fed, finest Tesco chicken. which I've left whole. You can cut that up if you want. You can get a butcher to cut it up, it's easier. You buy it from the butchers, obviously. It's about the size of a medium chicken. There's probably a little bit less in there. You need about 800 grams for this recipe. There it is. Right, and now here I have where are we? Sorry about that. So on the table here, in fact I'm going to bring that over so you can see it. I have okay, so I've got a whole cinnamon stick. I'm supposed to have 2.5 tablespoons of coriander seeds, but I only had about 1 and a bit, so I'm going to make that up with coriander. I've got 2.5 tablespoons of black peppercorns, 1 whole cinnamon stick, half a star anise, 2 bay leaves, and I've got 13 cardamom pods there. It's supposed to be 10 and 3 black cardamom pods, but I can never find black cardamom pods everywhere, so I just put the extra 3 in. And then I've got 5 cloves there. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to wrap that up and put it in this dishcloth, which is brand new. I bought them. They're brilliant for this because I can't find muslin cloth. I could if I looked properly, but this is just easy. Buy these from a pound shop. Get 3 or 4 of them in a pack. Use it, throw it away. I'm going to tie it up with a bit of string. Okay, so back to here. So I'm just going to place all of these in the centre of this cloth. And you wrap them in the cloth, and then you won't get all these gritty bits of spice in your mouth when you're trying to eat your dinner. Granted, there is some cumin seeds in there, but they are stuck around the chicken and they would come through the cloth anyway. Okay, so you notice there's no chilli in it. It doesn't need chilli. It's got black peppers. They'll give off enough spice, flavour. Oops. So as I said, you do need a few bits, but once you've got them, you've got them, and you can just replace them. It's all essential for from scratch cooking. No ready meals in this house. Okay, so once you've got that in the middle of your sheet, keeping an eye on the chicken. You can then just wrap that up, bring it into like a cartouche in the middle there. Like that. And tie that across with some string, which I have got here. Okay, I once did this recipe, used the string, and I had a bit of string that was blue in coloured, and the blue came out the string. And coloured the curry blue. Not great. So I learned by that mistake, now buy normal string. So just tying, nothing special, just tying that around there, because all you really want is for that bit at the bottom just to sit in the juices when you put the juices in there, and cover it. And it's just a really good way of getting the spices that you need into your dish. There you go. So there it is, that's ready with all those spices in. Cool. Right, so what I've just done there is I've added some more water, brought that to the boil. I'm just going to take my spices that I've wrapped in the cloth, going to make a space in the middle there. Just going to flip over some of this chicken. Yeah, looking good. And I'm going to add these spices to the middle of the dish there. Alright, and then I'm going to cover that dish and I'm going to cook that for about 20 minutes on a low heat, because you don't want the water to boil dry. It shouldn't boil dry because it's got a lid on, but obviously the lid intensifies the heat inside the pan. That's what a lid does, so just got to be a little bit careful. So now I am going to add some more water to my chicken. This time round it's going to be 3.5 cups of hot water. Three and a half cups of hot water. Bring that to the boil. Leave the lid off. So, bring that to the boil, and I'm going to add my rice. I think it was 2.5 cups of rice, which I've soaked for at least half an hour. So let's just turn these chicken pieces over whilst we can. Once it's boiling, we're going to leave that cloth with all the spices exactly where it is. Once it's boiling, we'll just add in the rice and gently stir it, being careful not to damage the rice. You don't want to do that. Then I'm going to put this on high without the lid. Take about 10 minutes until the water's nearly all gone. You see that lovely colour, traditional pulao colour. So we're just going to leave that to boil away for about 10 minutes till the water's nearly all gone. Then we're going to turn it down low as possible. Put the lid back on and just let the rice steam for 10-15 minutes. Steam cook on its own. So we're going to boil that water out, turn it up nice and high, boil the water out. Smells absolutely gorgeous in here. As I said before, it's not my recipe, this is a recipe I found online a while back. And I've cooked it a few times. It's really nice and it's really authentic, as close as you can get to a real Pakistani pilau, which isn't normally cooked in a one pot. So pilau just kind of means rice cooked in soup or in a broth. It's a bit like a risotto, I suppose. But obviously with instead of Italian spices, it's got Asian spices. And it's worthwhile in investment in the whole spices. A bit of a clean up while we're waiting for that. Watch out for my fish dish coming up soon. I'm going to be making, and my Amritsari kulcha, which is a stuffed bread I've made a few times since I've returned. Right, that's looking good. Bubbling away. That is packed with flavour. Black cardamoms, I don't know. Maybe you know where they can get them. If you do, let me know. They're certainly not available in the supermarkets. Right, that is ready for me to turn the heat down. There's not a lot of water left, as you can see in there. Give that a quick stir so you can see that. Not a lot of water left. So we're going to turn that right down, as low as we can get it. And then put the lid back on. And we're going to let that steam cook the rest of the way. Take 10 minutes or so. It is important to use a good basmati rice when you're doing this. Don't be tempted to use anything other than basmati. You need basmati rice for the flavour to make it authentic. And a good basmati rice would be something like Layla, Tilda. But to be fair, I've used Tesco's basmati rice every time I've made it, and it's been perfect. But it has to be basmati. So once that's finished, sort of steaming, cooking in there, the rest of that rice, we'll fluff it up with a fork, and it's ready to go. You can serve that straight off, and I promise you, that smells gorgeous. You can just eat that like that. You can serve that with a raita, some salad. That's what people normally eat it with, salad, raita. You can buy some tikka alus from the shop, or make them if you want. Maybe some onion bhajis. Serve it with those. But it doesn't need anything else. It's a full meal right in there. It's got chicken, it's got rice, and it's cooked lovely. And there you have it. It's cooked lovely. All that's left to do is to remove that bag of spice out the middle. Careful when you do this because it's going to be hot. There you go, that looks lovely. Let's have a little taste. Fluff it up. That's lovely. So nice. So there you have it. My one pot Pakistani chicken pulao. Absolutely gorgeous. Try that, guys. Let me know, beasties, if you like that.